Recording in progress.
Class, student, resounding, hello,
Hello.
yeah, madam, it's getting resounding. Hello, yeah, madam,
We can hear you.
yeah, okay. Class, student, def. So whenever you want to initialize, can you put on mute, madam? Hello, okay. So def, so I can give, whenever you want to initialize the values, we use underscore init. That means that for initializing the values, you can give the init self. So where we can declare the variables, self dot a, some variable equal to a. So we can assign like this, self dot b equal to b. Now self dot c equal to c. So now in this way we can declare it. Now here when you want to declare it, you can mention a comma b comma c, b comma c. So this is how we are going to initialize the values. Now you can pass these values to different methods. Def, something like, so I'm going to use, so here I'm going to use age, name, course. I have given 3 contents. So age equal to age, name equal to name, and similarly course equal to course. That's all. Now different. So student info underscore info, student underscore marks. So I can give m1 comma m1 comma m2 comma m3 comma m4. So I want to get 4 subject marks. Now here I'm going to use self dot m1 equal to, or m4 equal to self dot m1 plus self dot m2 plus self dot m3 plus self dot m4. So in this way we can get it. Now I want to print how can I'll do one thing. So instead of self dot m4, I'll make as total equal to print self dot total. I can get the total of the part. Now once I get the total, I'm going to use def student underscore percentage. Now self dot total equal to self dot percentage slash 4. Okay, na? I'm going to get the value. Print self dot percentage. Here I will use self dot percentage equal to self dot total by 4. Right now I'm going to, what is your class name here? What is your class name? So my class name is student, right? This is my student. So I can pass the values inside the student also. So S1 equal to student of, what are the things I need to pass? I need to pass the values of age, name, course. So age 23, name Kumar, next course MBA or BSc. Now S1 dot student marks. So what are the student marks? I need to give 4 subjects: 45, 56, 78, and 89. Now S1 dot student percentage, right? So the student percentage will get from the marks itself. So once you get the total will be divided by 4, you'll get the percentage. Now I'm going to compile the program. See. What is error we are getting out? No attribute M1, right? So what it is showing, that is M1, M2, M4. So we need to SNS self dot M1 equal to M1. Similarly, self dot M2 equal to, we need to initialize like this, M2. Next, self dot M3 equal to M3. Now self dot M4 equal to M4. We need to initialize like this. So now I'm going to compile this. What int has a self, what is the self we are getting out? What is error we are getting out? Where is error? Now when you are declaring it, no need to mention like this. Just 1 second. Right, okay, 1 second. M1, M2, M3, M4. Here we can write as self dot total equal to. Right, self dot total equal to. What is error getting out? Self dot total equal to M1, M2, M3, M4. So how many values are given here? So I have given a values of self dot M1, M2, M3, M4. 56, 68, 79, 88. That's good. So I'm going to initialize the values of here, and I will do one thing. I'll pass the values here itself only, in the initial itself only. Here I can use as course comma M1 comma M2 comma M3 comma M4. Okay, and here I'm not passing any values. So directly I can give the values here. Self. Right, and so I can use. So I need a missing 4 required positions. Okay, so I need to pass these values inside the comma. And I don't need to pass any values here. Marks. So int object has no attribute self. Okay. Plus. No self. Total marks.
There is no plus in total. Self plus self dot M3 plus self dot M4.
Self dot M3.
Self dot M3 plus self dot M4.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. I didn't forget. Right. So total marks. Now, what is missing out? We didn't print the name, age, and course, right?
Name, each one.
Name 23, course. So we need to print this also, right? So we can give name, course, and total person is getting out. And why it is not giving values? Age, name, and course. It should has to print name, age, and course, right? We are getting only these
We did not give. We did not give the print statement.
We
for
have
the-
not given for print.
I didn't give in a print. Okay, sorry. So I'll do one thing. I'll here as a print as print age, print name, print course, right? And if I compile this, okay, na? This is how you're going to work in different using class. So we can declare. So whenever you are assigning the values, we need to assign the values using init initialize. So we need to declare, we need to initialize the values by using self, and we need to, once you initialize that, then you can pass that values to using self function. And we can, whenever you want to run the program, first we need to create an object for this class name, and we need to pass the values. Okay, now? So based on that, whatever the methods we need to call, first one is student marks, and the second one is student dot percentage. So this is how we are going to work on using classes and objects. Classes and objects. Now we'll see what do you mean by constructor. Most important. Anybody? What do you mean by constructor? What do you mean by constructor? Madam?
Construction is used for creation of an object.
Constructor and if the say class name and the function name are same, then we can call it as a constructor.
Sure.
So in actually the class name and the function name should be same, madam. For example, you go for Java, public, something like, for example, class student, madam. Okay, class student. Under that, I'm going to public void student, or else you can give in this way. Okay, age, name, course, and you can start with the student again. You can give the function name is, what is the function name? Student. What is the class name? Student. Under the student, I am going to use as a name equal to something like print name of the student, something like. Okay. Now similarly, print age of the age, print something like course. Okay. Now whenever you run the program, you need to have public, something like public, static, void, main, something like. And what is your class name here? Student, right? Student, some t1 equal to new student. Okay, now you no need to call t1 dot, just directly you can pass the values here only. 12 comma age comma age, something like age comma name, something like comma course, something. Okay, now see, you no need to call the student again. It's a t1 dot student and రాయకల్లా. ఎందుకంటే why it mean the name and the function name and the class name are same. So you no need to call. Once you call the student, automatically whatever the method, whatever the functionality is present in the student, that will be executed out. Okay, na? You no need to call that function. So you can we have multiple constructors in a class? Undacha? We can have
Yes.
one constructor in a class, madam. We cannot have the same name, number of constructors with the same class name. Class name to number of constructors ఉండకూడదన్నమాట. So ఇక్కడ చూడండి. Now constructor is nothing but constructor. Now constructor, it is a special symbol which is used for which is used for which is used if the function name, and class name are similar, is used when the when the function name and the class name are similar, we can create function name are similar we can create an object for the class, object or class. Using that object, we can call the function. We can call the function called Jesus Coach. So there should be only one constructor in the class. One constructor in the class. In Python, దీన్ని మనము ఇందాక ఇచ్చారు _init, that is for initializing and also used for a constructor. Used as a in Python, the constructor will starts with _init__ method. Okay, madam? Method. This is for method. This is for initializing and used for and also acts as a constructor. Act as a constructor. అందుకే ఇందాక మీరు క్లాస్ నేమ్ కాల్ చేసేటప్పుడు చూడండి, ఇక్కడ ఇదిగోండి ఇందాక ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో, ఇన్ ది ప్రీవియస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, హ్యావ్ యు సీన్ దిస్? దిస్ ఇస్ ఎ కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ and we haven't called. Sir, మరి ఇందాక మరి s1 అన్నారు కదా, why can't you call this s1 dot? చూడండి ఇదిగోండి s1 dot __ ఇది కాల్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, కానీ this we no need to call that since it is act as a constructor. So if you use a class name, that student will be act as a constructor in this. So now you can pass the values directly into the class name itself. Okay na? Into the class name itself. Got it? Okay, madam? Okay, Aditya?
Yes.
Okay. Now, next,
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
two types
yes,
of
sir.
there are two types of constructors are there. Types of constructors. One is parameterized constructor and non-parameterized constructor. Parameterized and non-parameterized. Parameterized is that passing the values into the constructor is parameter. No, without passing any parameters in the constructor is called non-parameterized constructor. Now if you give this program, can we call it as a parameterized or non-parameterized? Dinevantam? Parameterized, madam.
Parameterized.
Since only age, name, course, M1, M2, M3, these are called as a parameterized constructors. So passing parameters into the constructor is known as parameterized constructor. Example, can take the example. This is the example for passing parameter. So can we do it non-parameterized? Yes, we can do it. So now we'll act as a non-parameterized. Now, for example, you may ask, sir, in the real time, where do you use this constructor? Now, in the real time scenario, for example, you want to open a browser. And that browser, using that browser, you need to perform the title, close. Again, opening the browser, get the title, close. Opening the browser, next. Count the number of links in a page, close. That means that the constructor will act as a login window for the application. Okay. Open అవుతుంది constructor ద్వారా, perform చేస్తుంది, close అయిపోతుంది. So you no need to call this constructor every time. When you call the class name, automatically this function will be called, and using that function we can perform any number of operations. Okay na? Any number of operations then. So here we are using parameterized constructor as well as non-parameterized constructor. Now in the above example, I don't want to use any parameterization. Now for example, I don't want to use these parameterizations. I'm giving only egg, right? Now here I'm going to use print. Print. Can we do like this? Will this works? Will this works? Work out in there?
No,
Yes.
What we can do? We
we
can
have
do
to
as
initial.
self dot a1 equal to a1.
No.
Will this works? It won't work. b1 equal to b1. Self dot c1 equal to c1. You cannot use, since without the parameterization, you cannot assign the values inside the function without the function. Now, how do you do it? How do you use that? Can you give an example how to do that?
By initializing in the as a global
Yes.
variable.
So here I'm going to use ma'am. So I'm going to, for example, you are saying that age equal to something like 34, name equal to something like Krishna. Next, course equal to testing. I given them. You are saying that globally, right? Globally.
Yeah.
These variables. So I'm going to print. This is a non-parameterized constructor. This is a non-parameterized constructor that I want to print that. Now, in this method, so now I'm going to create one more def student underscore information. Now, can I pass that values inside this? Can I use these variables? Age, name,
Yes.
course. Yes. Can I use them?
Yes.
So self dot age equal to 23. Self dot name equal to Krishna. You no need to use that. Name age. Right? Can I use like this? I don't think. 1 second. Print self dot age. Print self dot name. Okay, madam?
Yeah.
Now, next one is print self dot what is it?
Course.
Course, right? Okay, course. That's all. Now I'm going for the second method. So this will act as a parameterized, non-parameterized. It doesn't have any values.
Non-parameter.
Now I'm going to pass these values. Globally, I'm going to pass to this method, and just save the file. Now I'm going to run the program. What did he say? See, student identity takes one positional arguments. So what is an argument we're having? Do you have any argument here? There are no arguments in this. So no need to pass the values, right? Could pass chala?
Yeah.
So student marks. Now what about the student marks? Do we need to pass here?
Yes.
Comma, M2, comma, M3, comma, M4. Now in the student marks, I need to give 45, 56, 78. Save the file. Now compile that. Student object has no M1. Okay, I need to create M1, right? So every time it's very difficult to manage. That's right. Self dot M1 equal to M1. Self dot M2 equal to M2. Self dot M3 equal to M3. Self dot M4 equal to M4. Okay, madam?
Yeah.
This is my non-parameterized. And what about the name and the title? What about the name, course, and these things? I haven't received this thing. I need to call that, right? Information I didn't call, right? So S1 dot S1 dot student info. Student info. Right? Okay, na? 34.
Yeah.
So this is the first non-parameterized. 34. Globally, I'm calling out total marks percentage. Got it?
Yes.
So this is a non-parameterized constructor. Previous is parameterized constructor. This is a non-parameterized constructor. Now, can you give any example for this constructor, non-parameter constructor? Aditya? Can anybody tell me? Give an example for constructor. No idea?
No.
Can we? I want to find the area of the circle, area of the square, area of the rectangle, perimeter of the square. ఇవన్నీ చేయాలనుకోండి. ఏరియాని మనము కన్స్ట్రక్టర్ యూస్ చేసుకోవచ్చుగా, రైట్?
Yes.
We can use area in the constructor and you can initialize the values in the area and we can pass that area to all the methods. That is a parameterized constructor. Non-parameterized is globally we can assign the value of our area outside the method and you can pass that values into the function itself. That is a non-parameterized constructor. Okay, na? Next, inheritance. I think most of the people knows. In OOPS concept, classes and object inheritance, most important thing which are going to work. How we are going to run multiple classes. Here, inheritance is nothing but the property of one class. One class is the property of one class is inherited into or inherited into another class. That is so one class property, can I call them into the other class? That is called inheritance. So actually when you are working in Java, we use a function called extends. Class 1 extends class 2, class 2 extends class 3, class 3 extends class 4. So in that way we used to work in Java. Here the old class, there are two types of classes are there. One is called base class and other one is called as a child class. Base class or child class. Right. Now here the inheritance we can also call it as first class. So first class is we can call it as base class or derived class or parent class. Second class is called as child class or any other one? Super class. Is it correct? Is it correct or not?
Super class is like parent class, right?
అదే అనుకున్నాను మేడం, చెప్తారా లేదనుకున్నాను. ట్రై చేస్తాను. ఈ డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్ అనేది ఇక్కడ సూపర్ క్లాస్ మేడం, కదా? సూపర్ క్లాస్ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చే డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్ అని వస్తుంది అన్నమాట, కదా? డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్, చైల్డ్ క్లాస్, డిరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్, ఆర్ వీ కెన్ కాల్డ్ as sub class. Called as a sub class. So this is a so old class, first class అంటే ఏంటంటే old class అంటాం యాక్చువల్గా. Previous class, first classes, new class. Okay, so we are going to call the parent class into the child class. We are going to call the parent class into the child class. So I can use the property of the parent class into the child class by using class 1 there we use extends. Here can we use extends? No, we can't use extends here. So we can use the class of child, inside that you can use parent also. We can give the parent, that I'll show you later. Now here, so now, so how we are going to call that? So here we call it as a parent class. Parent class is nothing but the class which is inherited by the another class. Is called parent class. Is called as a parent class. Next, subclass or child class. The class which inherits the property of another class is called subclass or derived class. దాన్ని ఏమంటాం? ఈ ప్రాపర్టీని పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ ఒక ప్రాపర్టీని మనం కాల్ చేసుకునేదాన్ని దాన్ని ఏమంటాం? పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ ని వేరే క్లాస్ లోకి కాల్ చేసుకుంటే దాన్ని ఓల్డ్ క్లాస్ ని పేరెంట్ క్లాస్. అదే ఈ సబ్ క్లాస్ ఆర్ చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ఏదైతే మనం ప్రాపర్టీని తెచ్చుకున్నామో దాన్ని మనం చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ అనొచ్చు, సబ్ క్లాస్ అనొచ్చు, లేకపోతే దాన్ని మనం డెరైవ్డ్ క్లాస్ అని కూడా అనొచ్చు అన్నమాట. విల్ కాల్ ఇట్ as a derived class. How we can inherit the class one to class to another class? So how we are going to? So how to inherit one class into another class. So derived class we can write as derived class of parent class and రాసుకోవచ్చు అన్నమాట. We can call like this. Okay na? This is how we are going to call them. Okay na? Example is class square of rectangle. Okay, that means that I am going to call the rectangle properties to the square, right? To the square properties. Here square is a derived class and the rectangle is called as a base class. Okay, here square is a derived class and rectangle is a base class. Now I'll show you one example with that, then we'll see that. After 10 minutes it's going to disconnect, rejoin again. Okay, now I'm going to give class something like rectangle. Now under that I'm going to give function something like area of self comma. So what are the things I need to declare? Height comma width. I declare two variables. So area equal to, I can write as area equal to height into width. Okay madam, height into width. Now I'm going to print area of the rectangle. I'm going to print the area of the rectangle. Aditya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Now rectangle. Now what I can do, I can use def. So I can create one more class. I'm going to create one more class of square. Inside that, what class I'm going to call? I'm going to call the rectangle. So now rectangle. So this is called as a parent class and this is called as a child class. This is called as a parent class and this is called as a child class. Now, so what are the things I need to pass here? Something like def. Here also same thing, area of self comma. I'm going to use only one variable. So area of rectangle is side into side. Area of square is side into side. I'm going to use side. Now area equal to side star side. Okay, I'm going to do print area. So now what is the method we need to call whenever you're calling the variable? How do you call that? Do we need to create a variable? Yes. To which you need to create? Do I need to create for this? Do I need to create the class for rectangle or do I need to create an object for square? You can create an object for the square, madam. Since the rectangle is being inherited with the square now, so what I can do? S1 equal to square. మీరు ఇదిగోండి దీన్ని కాల్ చేయకల్ల, ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ ని కాల్ చేయకల్ల, ఎందుకంటే ద ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్ ఈస్ బీన్ ఇన్హెరిటెడ్ ఇన్ టు ద క్లాస్ 2 కాబట్టి. సో యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్ అన్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఫర్ ది స్క్వేర్. You can create the object for the square, right? Okay na madam?
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't need to create an object for rectangle. You can create the, now we can give the parameters. So whatever the functions we need to call, we need to call the area in this, and we need to call the area. I will make as area 1 and this as area 2. Okay na? That will be easy. Okay, 1 second. Area 2 now. So what I can do, S1 dot area 1, area 1. I can pass the values, something like 12 comma 23. Similarly, S1 dot area 2 of side only na side. So side 2 into 2, 4. It will display that. So this is how we are going to pass the values. Now we'll see a sample example. Class square, or we can use rectangle. Now under that I'm going to use def area 1 self comma height comma width. So self dot height equal to height. Do we need to require this? Do we require all these things? Can we use parameterization for this? Can I use parameter? Sorry, can I use constructor? Can I use constructor,
Yes.
madam?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do one thing. Def